Fellas, in honor of Juneteenth, I thought it would be the best time to do the very first story time on this channel. And what better story to start it off with than the time that I dated the police chief's daughter, I can't even say that, police chief's daughter, and almost got arrested. Now, I didn't get arrested for dating her. There was something that happened in the relationship, which I'll touch on later in the video, that could have went very left. But thankfully it didn't, and I'm here to tell the story with no charges on my record. So let's kind of get right into it. As you guys know, I'm very big into cars. I have an E36. I've been dealing with cars basically my entire teenage to adult life, and any guy in that scene or is into car culture, tuner culture, knows that the women in the car scene are ready to go. Not all of them. There's some really cool girls in the car scene that are really there for the passion of cars, just like all the other guys. But just like some guys, there's a lot of girls in there who are really there just for the aesthetics and the looks, and you know, just to be kind of like a groupie. And when I was 23, I ran into one of those girls, and it was probably the weirdest experience I've ever had in my life. A lot of my friends warned me, especially since I was young, to never date a car girl, and I never knew why. I mean, I kind of knew why. I saw how easy they were, but I did not know how crazy they were. That was until I met this girl named Anaya. I had just gotten my E36, and when I first got this car, I had no problem talking to women because the car was the icebreaker. Way better than my last car was. I mean, at that time, I went from a stanced out, fully automatic Acura to a stick shift, super low, murdered out, all black BMW E36. Like, it was an easy kind of attention grabber, and it was a really nice car overall, so women noticed it and would talk to me because of it. I try to think that's not the only thing I had going for me, but honestly, at that time, I was terrible at talking to women, so it probably was. But I had just gotten the E36, and I decided that me and the bros should go to a park and chill. And this was the first time I was showing off the car, so I made sure to wipe every piece of dust off that car and have it shining like it was a mirror. And it paid off, because the second that I pulled up to the park and chill and parked, I had a group of people flocking my car, and I kind of felt like the man. You know, when you first get your car and you show it off and people are like, damn bro, and they're asking you questions, it puts you on the moon, especially if you're a car guy. And as this crowd of people is around my car, I noticed this super fine baddie. I mean, that just sounded so cringy to say, but it was this like black alternative girl. And if you know anything about me, that's the key to my heart. Any type of like goth, alternative, kind of like eccentric, different type of aesthetic girl easily catches my eye, and I might not say anything, but I'm like, damn bro, she's bad. I'm saying that in my head. And this was definitely one of the moments where I was thinking with my eyes and not my actual brain, because looking back at it, there were so many red flags I'm going to touch on in this video. It's kind of crazy that it even lasted as long as it did. But I noticed this girl, her name was Anaya, and I kind of see her out the corner of my eye, but I don't say anything because I'm not trying to be like, hey, yeah, like I just got this car. But by the grace of fate, she comes up to me and asks me about my car. She kind of initiated, and that made me feel a lot more relaxed because, like I said, did not know how to talk to women. So the approaching part was taken care of, and then we started talking about the car, which I know everything about my car off the top of my head. And we start talking, we start, you know, just kind of walking around the park and chill, kind of dipping away from the group. And I kind of had the first red flag. If you guys know anything about car girls, you should never mess with a car girl that doesn't have like a cool car. Usually, because the girls that don't have cool cars and like kind of come up to the guys and flirt are sort of like groupies. And I'm really not trying to be rude, but that's just like a common stereotype in the car scene that proves to be true more times than not. But we're talking, and she's telling me that she drives like a Honda Fit. She's really into cars, but she doesn't have the money to get one right now. Her dream car is a 240, which is everybody's dream car. So she's like a surface level car girl. And I'm sitting there eating it up, bro. Like, I'm not questioning any of it. She's telling me all the things that would normally be red flags, and I'm just sitting there like,
oh no, it's okay. I love the Honda Fit.
Oh, you don't know how to drive manual? Don't worry, I can show you some lessons if you're down.
Just a fool, just acting head over heels for no reason. But it's not every day you find a black girl who's into like the alternative fits. I mean, I don't know, bro. I'm a sucker for fishnet, and she was like wearing those super high boots, kind of goth, not super goth, a little emo, and I folded. Can't even lie. And this would start a trend of us meeting at other car meets and kind of hitting it off each time until we started to follow each other on Instagram. And this is where the second red flag came from. She followed like 80 different mutuals of mine. And my Instagram at the time was me, a couple of my friends, and then a lot of the car scene in my state. And I was in my head like, it's not weird that she follows half of the car scene. I kind of saw the amount of mutuals we had and just glossed over it. But I did take that time to ask my friends friends if they knew her and like what the general kind of gossip was around her. And I heard a lot of things. I heard she's crazy, heard that she's a little bit toxic, she's kind of a groupie. But me being stuck in lust, I kind of ignored all of that. But something that did catch my eye that a friend told me was that her mom was a police officer. This didn't matter too much to me because I'm not meeting her mom, I'm dating her. You know what I mean? Didn't matter. Or so I thought. After we initially followed each other on Instagram, we would start to hang out a lot after that. This probably went on for like 3 months of hanging out almost every other day. And we talked for a little bit, but it quickly moved way past talking. And it was almost just like a situationship where we hooked up a ton. And you know what? That was kind of like the reason that I ignored a lot of red flags. I was young, dumb, and I can't say that on YouTube. I was very reckless. And for the most part, this situationship was pretty cool. We didn't really expect too much out of each other. And we could pull up to the car meets, we could go get food, we could hang out at her place. And we would hang out at her place more often than not because her mom wasn't there a lot. She would always say that her mom was working, and I knew she was a police officer, so I was like, yeah, she's working as a cop, right? She never told me what her mom did, but I kind of knew because my friend told me what she did. But as we started hanging out more and more, I realized how much she actually did not like cops, which was weird because her mom is a cop. But there was one time that I'll never forget because I probably should have read it for the moment that it was and not just brushed it off. But one night, me and my friends were texting and we're like, hey, we should go meet up and do a late night cruise and get some Waffle House. You know, without telling them, I go and pick her up because we've been talking for a while now. I think at this point it was around 2 months, but I tell her, hey, I'm gonna go cruise with my friends. Do you want to come? She's super on board. And we start cruising with my friends as we go to like this Waffle House that was kind of in northern Georgia. It was like a 40-minute drive out, 40-minute back. It was gonna be a great cruise. And on the way there, one of my friends gets pulled over. Mind you, we're just cruising. We're not going too fast. I think he got pulled over for his tint at the time. And while he's getting pulled over, we all pull to the side of the road to wait for him and make sure everything's good. And I kid you not, she is having a like freak out in my passenger seat, just telling me how she does not like cops, how they're always ruining the fun. She was like, should we get out the car and go help your friend? And I'm like, no, we can just stay here and wait till it's done. This is way differently than how I handle police interaction. I'm just like, keep it calm, keep it simple, and let's get it moving. There's no need to do all this extra nonsense. But she's having a whole fit in my passenger seat. And my friend finally gets done talking to the police officer. He texts us, hey, I just got a warning for the tint. Let's go to the Waffle House. We're like 5 minutes away. We pull up to the Waffle House. We eat. And, you know, we start joking around like, hey, we're going to eat and then we're going to dip out. I think you getting pulled over was enough of a warning sign for us to go home. So we wrap up and I tell him, hey, I'm going to go drop her off. I had to take a different route than them, so I couldn't cruise all the way home. And once I get her back to her house, I just ask her, I'm like, why were you so angry at the police? They didn't even pull us over. And she just tells me, yeah, my mom is the police chief and I've just never really had a good relationship with her. And I just don't really like police in general. I'm sitting there kind of surprised because your mom is the police chief. Like, I knew she was an officer, that's whatever, but she's the entire police chief. In my mind, that just held a lot more weight than just being a regular officer. But after getting past that point, because I did have to ask her, like, are you serious? Is that really true that your mom's a police chief? She tells me yes. She tells me kind of all the issues that she has with her mom, how she's always working, they don't have a really good relationship. And I'm like, okay, kind of makes sense. It doesn't really make sense why you don't like police officers as a whole, but I'm not questioning it. And before the conversation ends, she said, you've never noticed my ACAB tattoo? She's like, I have ACAB tatted on the back of my leg. And I was like, huh? And if you don't know what ACAB stands for, it's all cops are bastards. And I was like, no way. I would have noticed this. I mean, I've had your legs in a lot of different positions. I would notice this. But I kid you not, she shows me it. I'm just sitting there like kind of laughing that I've never noticed it in these like 2 months that we've been talking. But I just, you know, whatever. I don't think too much of it. But again, another red flag that I decided to ignore. I know I'm just kind of waffling, but this is kind of where things all came to a terrible point, I would say. But me and her planned to get a date. At this point, it's like 3 months into this situationship or whatever you want to call it. But we decided to go and hang out and get some sushi at this brand new sushi bar. I've been trying to go to it for a while, but all my friends have been blowing me off. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go with her. And the plan was to get sushi and then go back to her house because her mom was supposed to be working that night. So I go pick her up. We go to the sushi place. I order way too much sushi, but it was all like amazing sushi. So I took some to go. We're having a good time at the dinner. We're joking. We're laughing. It's kind of just like every other time we hang out. There was really no weirdness. And up to this point, all the warnings of her being toxic, I kind of was ignoring some red flags, I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't really notice that. She wasn't mean. She wasn't mad that I would hang out with my friends. Very calm. And in my head, I was like, damn, should I make this official? You know, it's kind of been going really well. We're at 3 months of just hanging out. Everything's chill. Should I just be like, hey, do you want to be my girlfriend? Make it official. I mean, I'm saying this now, but I feel like in the moment I was going to ask her once we got back to her place. But obviously something happens before we get back to her place. For some reason, after we get sushi, I don't know if it's an aphrodisiac or if it turns the heat up and just makes you want to do stuff. But I remember her being just super touchy. And I'm not going to lie, bro. The relationship, even though it's been calming down, been a lot more regular, it was still based off lust. Like, I'm not going to lie. It was still like 90% lust. But she's getting all touchy. We get in the car and I'm damn near running red lights to get back to her house. But on the way to her place, she gets a call from her mom. And there's a huge change of plans. She's not going to work. So she's coming back home and she'll probably be home before we get there. And this like really should have just stopped me and been like, don't worry, I'll drop you off and I'll pick you up tomorrow or something. But we both weren't thinking clearly and the car had a lot of space. I feel like you kind of know where I'm going with this. Car had ample amounts of space. It was late, not a lot of cars out. You know what I mean? Probably could get away with it is what we thought. So we pull into a park, which was a terrible choice. It's about 10 at night now, so there's nobody at the park. Like, don't worry, I'm not gonna go to a park that's full of people and do anything crazy. I'd rather go to an empty park where there's no people. And her mom had LifeLock on her phone. I mean, she was grown. I think, like I said, I was 23. I think she was 22. But her mom was a police officer, super nosy, and she had LifeLock. So we knew that if we stop at this random park, the window of time that we had was not that long. So we had to be quicker than normal. So I get to the park. I put the car in park. We rush to the back seat. And this is like amazing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if you've ever had to use a car in that sense, it's not a bad time. I mean, it's not a bad time. But we're back there, windows getting steamy, having a great time. Just kind of remembering the time limit that we have, but everything is going smoothly until it takes the worst turn that I could possibly imagine. We see a car pass by once. It looked like a big, like, Suburban kind of, but we didn't pay too much mind to it. When we saw the lights approach, we stopped and just kind of sat in the back seat, and the car's tinted pretty well, so we saw him just leave. We didn't see any light bar or anything. We just saw that one car leave. And when they left, we went right back to doing what we were doing. That was until the same exact car came back behind my car with the lights on. They weren't directly behind my car, but they were like maybe 5 parking spots away, shining a spotlight at my car. I think it was their high beams, but it felt so like directed at my car. And you know, I mean, I'm over there trying to hurry up and put my pants on as fast as possible. I'm telling her, we gotta go. Because at this point, I don't see any police lights. So I'm just like, okay, it's a random park security guard or something. We're just gonna pull off and leave. It sounds so crazy to say, but I'm struggling to put my jeans on and like trying to get to the driver's seat as fast as possible so I can put this car in first gear and just leave. But I kid you not, I open the back door. My pants are on, but they're like sagging. It looks like it doesn't look like they're falling off, but it definitely doesn't look like they're pulled up all the way. And as I reach for the driver's door, I see the lights, man. And I'm freaking out because at this point, they have the high beams pointed straight at us. I can't see the police officers. They just turned their lights on and now they're talking over the speaker telling us to not move. I'm panicking. I'm having a full-on panic attack. I'm thinking my life is over. I'm cooked. They are booking me tonight. I'm not getting out of this. And I just turn my head to look at her and she has the angriest look on her face, like someone just like flipped over her bowl of cereal. She's still in the back seat, like putting on her bra. She's not out the car. I was the only one out. So you could just tell she's mad. And I'm like, she better not start arguing with these police officers. Not in this moment. So right away, I'm like, hey, let me handle this. I fix myself up, clothes fully back on. And the police officer says, hey, driver, walk over to me. I walk over to the cop and he's like, what are you doing, man? It is almost 11 o'clock at night. You're at a park. What are y'all doing? I'm just like, yeah, me and my girlfriend, we're just hanging out. It's a little bit late. You know, we were just about to be on our way. He's like, I could even see through your front mirror. It was so foggy. What were you guys doing in there? And I make up a lie on the spot. I'm like, you know, it's our 1-year anniversary and we just left dinner and we were just having a good time and we just, you know, got a little carried away. He's like, how old are you, man? I was like, I'm 23. So you guys couldn't get a hotel room? He's talking to me, but at this point, I'm a deer in headlights. I can hear what he's saying, but words cannot physically come out of my mouth to respond to him. I'm like, bro, I'm so sorry. It was just a lapse in judgment. Like, I really didn't mean for this to happen. Literally caught with like my dick in my hands. It was a really shameful moment. I'm not gonna lie. And bro's just telling me, he's like, you know, you're at a park. That's a whole bunch of new charges. Like kids play here. I was like, bro, it's 10 o'clock though. He was like, the law doesn't care. It's a park and you're within a school district. He's like, like, you know how bad this could all be? And I'm sitting there like, bro, please, like, it was just really a lack of judgment. I really did not mean to do this. I'm sorry. Basically begging for freedom. And he's like, you know what? Let me go talk to her. Just go back to the car and, we'll talk about it some more. Let me just get her side of the story. So I tell her, I'm like, yeah, he wants to talk to you, but I'm like, he seems pretty chill. He just, just kind of tell him what happened, that we're sorry. By the look on her face, bro, I could tell that it was not gonna be an easy time. She's sitting there huffing and puffing, talking about, I don't want to talk to him. Just tell him to give us the ticket and we'll leave. We don't gotta talk to him. Just get it over with. And I was like, they want to take us to jail. It's not a ticket. And after convincing her to go talk to the cop, it took like 3 minutes for me to get her out the car. She walks over, really annoyed, like the cop is wasting her time. And right when she gets over to the cops, I kid you not, I hear the police officer that I was just talking to tell her, oh, it's you. And I'm like, oh man, she's been arrested before. This is a normal thing for her. And as the conversation is going, I'm reading the body language of the cop and her, and it does not look good. I'm seeing a lot of shaking of the head. I'm seeing her roll her eyes. It seems like he's giving her a lecture on how she shouldn't be doing this, how we should have got a hotel and this is just reckless and dumb. Kind of the same lecture that he gave me, but she just wasn't trying to hear it. She was just like, whatever, or that's what her body language said. And after about 10 minutes, she walks back to the car and he's like, he wants to see your ID. So I'm walking over, I'm about to get arrested. I gotta tell my mom what happened. This is so embarrassing. I'm gonna have all these charges that he's talking about. He's like, hey, let me see your ID, man. So I show him my ID. He says, all right, you can go back to the car. And I'm talking to her. I'm like, what happened? It just looked like y'all had the worst conversation ever. You're over here rolling your eyes. You're not looking at him. You're looking down. You just look angry. And she tells me, yeah, that's my mom's ex-partner. They used to work together, but now she's the chief, so they don't really work together anymore. And yeah, he was always really annoying. I'm like, he knows you? This is the police department that your mom is the chief of? We got pulled over by your mom's police team? And she responds to me saying, I know, right? I hope my mom doesn't have to bail me out. This is going to be so annoying to deal with. I'm sitting there thinking, my mom's not going to bail me out. On top of that, your mom is about to throw every charge in the book at me if we get caught. I'm on the verge of like crying, bro, because the charges that he was telling me were not good. Like, because it was at a park, I was going to be thrown on a list. And yeah, no, I don't know if I could deal with that. But after what felt like an hour of waiting by the car to hear what the police officer says, he calls me over. He gives me a super long lecture saying, this could have been so bad for you. You're young. You have so much going for yourself. This one action could have put you on a registry, could have really derailed your life for just what, bro? For some play? I'm sitting there like, eyes are probably balling up, bro. I'm so close to just crying. He's like, I can't just give you a warning because, this is trespassing. The park's closed. So I'm going to give you guys a ticket. Just show up to the courthouse and pay it. He's like, unless you want to fight it, but if you fight it, it's probably going to be worse because they're going to ask you why you were there. But just go to the county court, pay the fine, and you're good. But don't ever let me catch y'all doing this again. I wanted to give the police officer a hug. I mean, I'm not a fan of police most of the time, but in this one situation, I almost gave bro a hug, but I didn't want to risk him thinking I was reaching for nothing. So I was just like, bro, thank you so much. Let me get her home. I'm about to go straight home after this. I'm not staying out any later. I get my ticket. She gets hers. We get back in the car and I take a moment to breathe and I pull off. The cops are watching us pull off to make sure that we leave. And tell me why she says, you want to go to a different park? Like, I understand we didn't finish what we were doing. I get it. But after what just happened, I'm going home. Like, I might not ever see you again. Like, you're crazy. All the warnings and the red flags that I passed up really were my fault. Because at that very moment, I was like, this could have gone so much worse purely because of lust. I don't think I would have a nice mugshot, bro. I was like panicking, bro. Deer in headlights. I was so scared. But I tell her, no, I'm gonna drop you off and we're gonna end the night. And this is where the craziness in her peaked. Because the fact that I didn't want to go to a different park or find somewhere else to sneak and do it made her start acting so weird. Oh, what are you, scared of the cops? What are you scared for? They're not gonna do nothing. They even do nothing this time. I'm sitting there ignoring her. In my brain, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done, bro. Don't matter how good the play is. It's not worth this. I'm not about to get a charge for this. I mean, I say that, but after that night, I think we talked for like another month or two, and then then we kind of just slowly faded away as like every situationship ends. But I get her back to her house at the end of the night. I'm like, yeah, sorry for all this happening. You know, luckily we didn't get arrested. We proceed to talk a little bit more in the car, but I couldn't really even talk to her because I was just so mad. Like, how are you gonna talk back to a police officer when you're in the wrong? I can maybe understand it if you get pulled over and it's some nonsense like, oh, you're speeding or a tail light is out, but we were clearly in the wrong. Like, just take the ticket and move on. She was like, I'm not gonna pay this ticket. Oh, that cop is such a loser. Oh, we were just having fun. What's his problem? I mean, looking back at it now, worth it? Would I change anything? Probably not. Probably would have just got the hotel like the cop suggested and avoided all the nonsense. But me and her had a good run. After we stopped hanging out, I kind of learned that the groupie thing was very true, and she was a particular groupie. She really liked BMWs, which looking back at it now makes sense because I just had got my BMW and boom, here she pops up. And in a wild turn of events, after hating police for so much, I think she couldn't find a job doing anything else, so she ended up becoming a police officer herself. I saw her Instagram the other day and she was in a whole like outfit, badge and everything, and I'm just like, wow, how the tables turn. But yeah, that wraps up the very first story time on this channel. I feel like it's long overdue and we've talked about stories, but never a story from the past. And given all the Debbie Downer videos I've had about the job market, my friend group and stuff, this is a nice change of pace, I would say. But if you've had any other run-ins with the law kind of in the same vein as this, let me know down below in the comments. I do read the comments. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Every subscription gives my dog a dog treat. And with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Until next time.